everyone, welcome back to my channel and another new video. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to another amazing open source tool. So we talk a lot about open source here. We highlight a lot of amazing tools, and in this one, we're going to look at Supabase, which is basically an open source Firebase alternative, right? So you can, for example, make your projects. Let's say your personal projects, your own, things you want to try out, things you want to create. If you have any ideas, and any startup ideas or something like that you have, and let's say you don't want to write the backend from scratch on your own, right? So let's say what are the things that are needed, when you're starting an application, building an application. You need a database, some authentication, some APIs, functions, and storage, and all sorts of things. So Supabase provides you that, and you can check out their website, you can check out their blog. By the way, you can find all the links in the description below, and you can check out other videos as well. And in this one we are basically going to look at I want to take it like a little bit of a Kunal's approach. So obviously you can find tons of tutorials online. So in this one we'll be seeing how you can work with the CLI. We'll be seeing how you can start your own project. So as you can see, you can build products faster, ship them faster. You can join their community. By the way, you can join their Discord channel. Over here you can start them on GitHub. You can see all the examples, for example. So what can you build with Supabase? You can check out all the examples over here, Nest.js example, chat application, and so on and so forth. So many things. So here you can check out all the examples available over here. You can build your application without leaving the dashboard, and so you can see you can scale up with no extra cost. You can do all sorts of things. So you can start your project. All the tools and products that they have over here, you can see, right? Here we go: database, authentication, storage, edge functions, real time, for multiplayer experiences. So you can see over here. So in this video, we're going to basically learn how you can manage environments, right? So we'll take a look at the Supabase CLI, and we'll see how it can help you in managing multiple environments. So yeah, we're gonna set up our local Supabase development environment, and it will be integrated with GitHub Actions, for example, and we will use it to automatically test and release schema changes to staging and production Supabase projects. But before we get started, we need to get started with, we download the CLI, and we need to create our own project. So those are the prerequisites that we need. Let's get started. Okay, so you can install it on Windows, Linux. I have Mac OS, so I can just use brew install the CLI Supabase tap Supabase. So here we have it. It's going to install it. That's pretty much about it. Cool. And while that is running, I'm just going to sign in. Can continue with GitHub. That's fine. Authorize. All right, so it says no projects right now. I can just create a new project, and I can say demo. I can just use strong password. That's fine. Copy it. And region, I can select South Asia. Let's say we select the free tier for now. Create new project. So it's saying it's setting up our project, and we can check out the documentation in the meantime. As you can see, here's the documentation, and in the documentation you can check out some of the features. You can check out the architecture, how it works, and all sorts of things, what it's using. And it's saying that we are provisioning your database and the API endpoints. It's just going to take a few minutes. And here is the information about our project. So these are the API keys. So as you can see over here, this is one of our secrets. This is the project, the URL, a RESTful endpoint for querying and managing our database. And here's a JWT secret, over here for us as well. And you can check out the client libraries. You can check out JavaScript and Python and all sorts of things. And it's now connecting to our project. So here you can see it says that, okay, welcome to your new project. Very cool stuff. You can get started by building out your database. You can check out the table editor, SQL editor, or SQL editor, whatever you like to call it. and we can create our app by creating tables and inserting data into it, and we can also check out other things like authentication and storage and all these other things, right? Very cool stuff. You can check out example projects like Next.js, like a to-do, let's say React Native to-do app. You can see this is the example project over here. So you can use this, you can check out all these examples, and you can work with it. Okay, you can find the table editor for your database. You can create a new table if you want, and you can do all sorts of things. Okay, and here you can see our CLI is installed now as well. Amazing. Let's move forward. Now, since we've installed the CLI, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, let's say, create a new directory called demo, and we're gonna create a, we're gonna set up our local repository with the Supabase CLI. So I can just say Supabase init. So it says finished. Now, if you do, you can see what is inside this folder. So you can see there's the Supabase directory into it. And now basically we need to link this local repository with our Supabase project that we have created. With the Supabase project that we have created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Supabase login, enter your access token. So if I check out my account preferences, access tokens, generate a new token. Let's say I call this one demo. Generated successfully, copy it, enter your access token. Finished. Supabase login. Now I can link my application. I can say Supabase link project ref. Okay, and now we need a project ID. So your project ID, if you just go to this project, and here you can see project slash, this is your ID. Okay, app.supabase.com/project/ID. So I will just copy this ID and paste it over here. It's saying enter your database password. So our database password should be database authentication storage, right? So here basically I had to enter the password that I, when I was signing in and I was just creating a new project, right? And it was said that, I suggested a strong password one. That's basically the one I wanted to have over here. Now it says finished Supabase link. So that's basically about it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to create a Git repository and we're going to commit these changes. I'm going to say git add dot git commit -m init Supabase. Okay, and after this we're going to say Supabase start. Docker is required, no problem. I'm going to start Docker. No worries at all. There we go. So it's pulling the images and going to start up our project for us. So, see the database over here, Postgre. This is also connected to our, the one that we have just created over here. This one, the demo one. Okay. Like how pretty the UI is, even for the CLI. So I think that's pretty cool. Good, nice little touch. So now basically we are ready to develop the schema changes locally and we can create our first migration, which is what we're checking out in this video. So you can see it's pulling all the required, necessary, things like all the storage stuff and, Kong and now in bucket. So it's setting up all the things for you. So you don't have to really worry about, doing it from scratch. Here you can see it's done. So it's saying that you have started a Supabase local development server, API URL. Here we go. So you can see showing us something, no worries. If you check out the database URL over here, studio URL, Check this out. Here you go. It's running on our local host. Default project, no problem. So here we have it running on our local system. Table editor, you can do all sorts of things. And this is connected with the demo one that we created online. So this is app.supabase.com, and you can see this is one on localhost. So it's actually connected with this one. And here is your secret token and all these other things. Service role key. Okay, cool. That's good. All right, let's move forward. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new migration. So there are two ways to make these schema changes. You can either do manual migration, so you can write some DDL statements manually into a migration file, or you can do an auto schema diff. So you can make changes through the UI, the Studio UI, which is basically this one, and it will like auto generate a schema difference. Okay, so we can maybe try to do like let's say we do a manual migration. Let's try to do that. So if I do a manual migration, it will look something like this. I can say Supabase migration new, let's say new employee. Okay, so it's saying that creating new migration at this particular URL. So this basically is a new file that is being created, and we can now write the SQL statements in this script using a text editor. So if we go into migrations, here you can see this file is being created. Okay, so I can just do a cat. Right now it's empty. Okay, so I can add in some code over here. This is the manual migration that I'm talking about, right? Okay, here we have it. And now we can basically apply this new migration to our local database. So I can say Supabase db reset. So it's saying resetting the resetting the database, initializing the schema, applying the migration, the name of the migration, finish the stuff on branch main. Okay. Now what this command did was it basically recreated our local database from scratch, and it applied all the migration scripts under this folder, the migrations folder. So Supabase migrations folder, and now our local database is now up to date with all the changes that we made. Okay, so you can also basically add in some existing scripts that you may have. So it also supports std as input. So if you have like any existing .sql files, you can like we did over here, Supabase migration new employee. So you can do Supabase migration new employee, and the less than symbol and the file name. So it will just use that. Okay, if you want to do auto, you can do Supabase db diff new employee. This will be doing it as auto, right? Let's move forward. Now basically what we're going to do is I'm going to add it to Git. I'm going to say migration, and now basically we are ready to deploy it. So in a production environment, you can use a CI/CD. We use CI/CD pipeline to deploy new migrations, and you can use GitHub Actions for that rather than deploying from your local machine. So we will basically be looking into that. We're gonna be configuring GitHub Actions, and we're going to be using GitHub Actions to do it. Okay, so in order for this to work, we're going to have to create two separate projects. So we have one already. We're going to create another one. I'm going to call it demo2. And that looks fine. Create a new project. So one is going to be used for production, and one is going to be used for staging. Setting up our project just as before. Okay, I added the another one in. Second project. That's fine. I'm going to create a new GitHub repository. I'm going to go to github.com, new repo. I'm going to call it Supabase demo. Create a repository. Git remote add origin git push origin main. Refresh, and here we have it. Looks pretty good, right? Now what we're going to do is we are going to basically set up the migration. Okay, so we're going to enable GitHub Actions. We go to Actions, simple workflow, configure. Here we go. So we have GitHub workflows. So we're going to create, we're going to configure GitHub Actions, and let's see what that's going to look like. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to create 3 files over here. First one is going to be ci.yaml. I'm going to close this one, and let's see how that will look like. Okay, but before that we need to create, we need to set up some of these secrets. So our access token, for example. And the way we're going to do is we're going to use encrypted secret. So in a project repository, I'm going to go to settings, and under the settings section, I'm going to go to security somewhere over here. Secrets, and in the secrets I'm going to click on actions here. Now we're going to click on a new repository secret, and we're going to type the name of it. So the first one that we need is basically the token, right? So I'm going to call it, let's say we're going to say Supabase access token. Count settings, access token. This is the one. I can just generate a new one. Let's say I call it demo2, copy. Save it, right? Supabase access token. I'm going to create another one called Supabase DB password. This is the one that you get when you, first create your project. So I've added both of these secrets in. That looks pretty good. And I'm just going to create, I'm going to create 3 files in my code sample. Okay, I'm going to create 3 files over here. ci.yaml, I'm going to create a staging.yaml and a production.yaml. So you can check out this example repository that they have. You can copy, paste. So this is ci.yaml, right? They have production.yaml as well. I'm going to click on start commit, create ci.yaml. I'm going to directly push it to my main branch. That's fine. I'm going to create another one. I'm going to call this one production.yaml. And just going to replace this one. It's going to just be replaced with the secrets, So it's going to match the one that we have. And our project ID. Projects. This is the project ID. Sorry. Here we go. That's I think should be fine because we just set it up and commit directly to main. Just need one more. Create a new file, staging.yaml. Project ID. That's basically about it. Alright, so here we have it. 3 files. Sounds good. and we have committed it directly into the main. Cool. Now when configured correctly, and if you talk about our repository over here, so here you can see that if I talk about why it's failing, details. Oh, okay. Believes it's asking for the password. Maybe we can try it. Maybe I can try adding it in over here. Introduction.yaml. Let's say we add it over here. Account preferences, access tokens. Just going to go to settings. Make a new one, that's fine. New. Copy. Supabase access token. And the DB password, I know that. Commit changes directly to main, that's alright. Production.yaml. Then we have staging.yaml. Commit. So our checks are running. Sounds good? Okay, so if everything works perfectly fine, the checks will pass. And yeah, so when it's configured correctly, our repository will have the CIs and the release workflows. And on the new, it will be triggered on the new commits as it is, as you can see over here. That is pushed to the main branch. Cool. All right. Sounds good. Cool. Awesome. So you can see it has passed. Now we're going to open a new pull request with a new migration. So we can do the same migration steps as we did before. So let's do that. We can create a new migration. We can just do it. Let's try the auto schema right now. So I can say Supabase db diff new employee. A new file should be created. Okay. So you can see new file has been created. Sounds good? All right. So now that we have a new file created, we can check out to a new branch. So I can say git, first of all, status, that looks good. Git branch, can create develop, git checkout develop. Now I can say git checkout -b share employee, and I can say git add Supabase migrations, the new one that was just created. Let me just double check. This one. So I can say git add Supabase migration, this one. Git commit -m add employee table, git push, you can say set upstream origin employee, this branch name. That looks good. So now basically you can open a PR, compare and pull request from the feature employee to the, I can create a new, I can have over here to the develop branch, and we can have a develop branch over here. Let me just see. Supabase, view all branches, new branch, develop, Supabase, compare and pull request, develop branch, add employee table, create PR. Now you can see CI workflow will be triggered, as you can see, and here you can see CI workflow has been triggered. How cool is that, right? Sounds good. So let's see what that says. It's running it and it's just basically now verifying it. Okay. Once this is done, we can merge it. So just waiting for that. My PR, I hope it passes. Once it's done, I can merge it. Amazing, all the checks have passed. So far so good. It's very nice. Like the demo is working amazingly. All the things you can see, how it worked and everything. And now I can merge this. So I'll just merge it, confirm merge, no problem at all. And that's basically about it. Now the last part, which is releasing it to production. So after verifying now that our staging project has successfully migrated, we can create another PR from the develop to the main branch, and we can merge it to deploy the migration to the production project. So here we go, develop to the main branch. And I can just create a pull request. Now here basically you can see the release one is being applied. This was not there previously. And here you can see now this is being merged in production. So now it's also again going to do all the checks and everything. Okay, so the release job basically applies to all the new migration scripts merged under the, in the Supabase slash migrations of directory, to a link that is linked to a Supabase project, and we can control which project, the job is linked to via the environment variable that we set, which was the project ID one, right? So that's basically about it. Once this is done, I'm going to merge it. All right, so all the checks have passed. Merge the pull request. Here we go. Ta-da! That's basically about it. Cool. Sounds good. All right. So you can take a, here we can check out the, and just go back to the main project, the main website. All right. So you can check out other examples, as you can see over here. You can take a screenshot, share it on social, see what you learned, and that is basically how you can manage multiple environments using the Supabase CLI. So we saw in this guide how to set up your local Supabase development environment and integrate it with GitHub Actions to automatically test and release the schema changes to staging and production Supabase projects. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, leave those in the comment section below. If you want to learn more about it, you want to get started with it, you can check out the links in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.